Power up.
Get over here! Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. Once again, it is the three middle-aged dudes. Count them. 1, 2, 3 middle-aged dudes just bullshitting about nothing. And we're following up our video about the dumb moves that we've seen video game makers do with the flip side. Don't ever let anybody say that we're just a bunch of negative Nancys who don't ever look at the positive side of things, because we are actually going to go out of our way to extol the good things that console makers have made. With that aside, let's go ahead and get the introductions out of the way. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Gray Mouse 1.
Yep. And the floor is open, guys. What are the things that you've seen console makers do, whether or not it's first party, third party, peripherals or whatnot, that just turned out to be a stroke of genius in the end when everything went ahead and ran its course?
Nintendo. The first thing
Nintendo.
the first thing that comes to my mind is the Game Boy. I mean, who would have thought that the Game Boy would just I think it's still the most sold console ever.
It is the most, I think it's the most universally accepted and marketed and sold console. I think the
In black and white, it didn't have color in it.
it doesn't matter. It sold 140
Matrix,
fucking
baby.
units.
Yeah.
If you
Where's
go
my
all the way through if you go all the way from the original Game Boy all the way to the Game Boy Advance, it's easily over 200 million fucking units sold over the lifetime of that fucking console.
And the funniest thing is, I guarantee that 3 of us have at least 4 or 5 different models of the Game Boy.
And between the three of us, we've owned each and every one of them.
At least.
At least one. At least
Yeah.
because I've owned the Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, SP. Seriously, Nintendo hit hit a home run with
Now,
the
wait a
Game
minute. You take the Game Boy. I say the NES. And first-party titles from Nintendo.
Go ahead, Dean.
Okay, look. Who can deny Metroid, Mario, Zelda? Who can deny those 3 alone from Nintendo? Shit. Before that, you didn't have that. You didn't have a first-party lineup that was guaranteed for game makers or for a specific console.
Well, with that, there was no such thing really as first party. With the Atari, there wasn't really Donkey Kong was on there, and so was
Yeah, but
so was
Nintendo made
Pac-Man.
that.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead. Let me try to encapsulate everything as far as both the Game Boy, not both, but all the Game Boy, the NES, and the Atari 2600. Well, back in the 70s, what a lot of people don't realize is that the 2600 or the Atari the Atari console, the Atari video game system was launched in like 1979, 1980. All right, we are talking about 36 fucking years ago. Okay, these are consoles that are much older, or twice as old as many people who've been born in the new millennium.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, the thing with the Atari 2600 is that they went ahead, they pretty much set up the market. The NES, when it came along, it came after the market crashed, and it pretty much had gone dark for almost 4 fucking years. Okay, and this pretty much set up. Hey, look, Nintendo set up. This is what games can be like if people take time to go ahead and put them together. Because let's be honest, a lot of the Atari 2600 games were fly-by-night ports of arcade games where they gave a single fucking programmer, not a team, a single programmer, to go ahead and take care of putting the thing together and QA it only 45, 60 days, 90 days at most for each game. All right, Nintendo came along. They put some real time into these games and said, "Hey, look, they had the creative minds behind it to go ahead and say these are the type of experiences that we think we can provide to gamers. They didn't even have the fucking term gamers. They said to consumers, to our customers, that we're going to go ahead and build this industry." Now, the thing with the Game Boy, yeah, it came out in 1989, a full 4 or 5 years after the NES came out. But you have to understand the only thing that people had at the time were those LCD games and those fucking
the Tiger handhelds.
The Tiger handhelds. That was just one dedicated fucking game that you'd go out of your way and you'd spend like $20 on to go ahead and play, and which was they were fucking horrible. All right, I'm not going to mince words on it. They were fucking horrible. Okay, they were really bad. And then you had, hey, look, there's this dedicated portable console. Sure, it's pea soup green and black. Sure, it takes four batteries. Sure, it's not lit.
Batteries can last months.
Yeah, but it played, and people when it came down to, okay, if you don't want to spend $250 on a full size console or even more than that on a full fucking computer and let your kid play around with, knowing that they're gonna fuck it up because that's what kids do. All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna give you a 79, a 99. Actually, I think the Game Boy when it first came out,
$99.99.
Yeah, it was $100. We're gonna go ahead and give you the option to go ahead and let your kids play with this, and then they could switch out cartridges like they could with the NES. But guess what? Since we have this whole fucking technology all ironed out, they don't have to do a blow job on the fucking cartridges every time they want to go ahead and play.
Right.
And it took off. It was great.
Well,
the people
what made it work?
The people that complained it was dot matrix. Those guys who didn't even play it. You can't. I have yet to find anybody that said that the Game Boy was. They didn't. I mean, for Christ's sake, Tetris. The Mario.
Hey, the first Kirby was on there.
Huh?
The first Kirby was on there.
Kirby, Metroid was on there. Zelda was on there. And that says a lot. Kid Icarus was on there. There's so many games that were on the Game Boy. And for those people, the naysayers, I mean, come on, man. No. I would also like to say, things that done right as well is the arcades. Because like you said there was a dark ages between the Atari flop and the Nintendo NES. What saved that, the people were still gaming, but they just didn't have a console game. People were still going out to the arcades, playing Asteroids, playing Centipedes, playing Pac-Man, playing all these other games, the top-down games. So that in itself, too. That in itself was a great idea because that kind of encouraged the new console.
What's funny is that talking about the arcades is a wistfully nostalgic thing for me, but it also makes me pretty fucking sad. Because the thing is that
no arcades anymore.
Yeah, there aren't arcades anymore, and the thing about it is that I
remember when Chuck E. Cheese was Chuck E. Cheese.
Fuck Chuck E. Cheese. I never liked Chuck E. Cheese, even when Chuck E. Cheese was actually Chuck E. Cheese. But that's because
not even for the arcade games.
They had the same fucking cabinets every time, all right? And then they had like maybe 2 or 3 others.
At least they had arcade games there.
Yeah, at least they had them, but the 2 or 3 others that were different or actually current were usually so fucking broken and unmaintained because they had odd kids coming up and jacking off with the fucking console.
Wait a minute. That's not fair because a lot of adults jack off on arcade console games.
Okay, I'll take that. But like I said, talking about the arcades makes me kind of sad. So arcades, this one's for you. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Okay. What about what actually went wrong? Actually went right because the whole thing with Sony and Nintendo collaborating to make a game system, and then they decided to part ways, which now we know that as the Sony PlayStation.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, some bad things have to happen, I guess, to make something good. I don't like saying that, but
a couple of smart things that Sony did. From PlayStation 1 to 2, they kept the same controller scheme, and the PlayStation 2 implementing the DVD player with it.
Yep.
Smart. So, I mean, I wasn't really a fan of it because people were just buying it just because of the DVD player in it. But that was it was the cheapest DVD player at that time.
Because at that time, it what, $300 for a DVD player, $400 for a DVD player?
Yeah, but then this system comes out, what, $299 and the DVD player attached to it.
Yep.
Smart move.
And the fact that the PlayStation 2 has one of the most diversified gaming libraries of all time.
It does.
Well,
it's insane.
You know, let's take a few steps back. The thing about Nintendo and Sony, their whole odyssey and drama behind creating the PlayStation and everything else. One of the things that I have to give Sony credit for was that they offered another avenue outside of Nintendo and Sega that allowed new publishers and new developers a way to actually go ahead and jump into the market. Case in point, Crystal Dynamics, Core. When the PlayStation came out, it was the first time ever, ever since the Atari, that games were showing up in the United States first before they were showing up in Japan. All right.
Yeah.
Genuinely speaking, at that point in time, over 90% of the games, actually upwards toward maybe around 98% of the games, showed up in Japan first, and hopefully, on some small fucking chance, they might show up here in the States if they weren't in the plans. You know, and that was great. I mean, it really showed the industry and everybody worldwide that there was other development companies out there and there were other publishers out there that could put out great gaming experiences that weren't attached to a long established, Japanese publisher name like Nintendo or Sega or Taito or Technos or any of the others. It was great for that reason.
And, to continue this further, when Microsoft decided to get into the fray, 2002, 2003, 2001, with the Xbox One. I mean...
Xbox.
Or, I'm sorry...
The one is that horrible abomination that had a connected up to it.
Yeah. I don't know why
them on it. To fucking play
you can't say Xbox One anymore, can you? Xbox Original.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Microsoft, they're the one who really, I think, drove the multiplayer thing home. I mean, for Christ's sake, when Halo 2 came out,
online or offline?
Online. When Halo 2 came out, it just exploded.
You can thank GoldenEye for that success.
Well, no.
I'm sorry. I really have to say that.
The thing with GoldenEye is that it really illustrated, especially at the time with the Nintendo and the Nintendo 64, it really illustrated that, guess what? These 4 fucking controller ports at the front of the console, they aren't just for show. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. Well, Nintendo 64 was notorious for having certain games that were more than, 2 players.
Oh, Mario Party.
Another thing, wireless controllers have been out since the late fucking 70s.
Yep.
A lot of people don't understand that even the Atari had wireless controllers.
A horrible infrared controller, which hardly fucking worked.
Okay, fine. But, of course, technology has to start out somewhere in order to be perfected. Come on. Motherfuckers are like, oh, why do I gotta have a wireless controller? No, wireless controllers have existed for a long fucking time. And hell, if you don't want to be sitting right close to your console, yeah, you can back up a little bit. No, you can't go 30 fucking feet. Especially back then. But the wireless controller, good fucking idea.
That brings up 2 things that I got to give props for. Okay. Not so much the wireless controller. We'll back up a little bit on that, but Nintendo 64. I've said it many times in other videos that I wouldn't have owned a Nintendo 64 if they weren't giving them out to employees who were working at Nintendo. And the only reason why I got one is because that was one of the pieces of compensation that they gave as, you know, when you were working the crunch time at Nintendo during the holiday season. But I do have to give them credit for going out of their way and saying, hey, look, couch co-op is a viable option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, fuck charging people another $20-$30 for a goddamn multi-tap.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and just put in more fucking
first console that had 4 controller slots.
Yeah, and the Nintendo 64 was the first one to have 4 controller slots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know they went out of their way and they said, hey, look, this is what we're gonna fucking do, and we're gonna make that available to people. On the same token, the Xbox, the original Xbox, had 4 controller parts, but they went ahead and they decided and they looked at it and they were like, hey, look, this 4.5, 6 foot cord bullshit, it doesn't work when you have that motherfucking people connected. Right. They made their fucking cord like 9 fucking feet long, right? 1.5 meters, okay? And they made that available to go ahead and so that way you wouldn't have to sit on your buddy's fucking lap, okay? When you're playing Halo multiplayer, split screen and bullshit like that.
Now, another thing that the Xbox did was LAN parties.
I was gonna say they created LAN parties.
Oh yeah, come on.
That was brilliant. That Microsoft with the original Xbox that they had a cord that you could connect in the back where you could connect the cat cable to another person's Xbox. I mean, with the theme, we had 5 Xboxes around his apartment playing Halo 1 multiplayer.
Yeah. Oh my God.
LAN parties. That was the thing.
That motherfucker separated around my house, and you know we were in different rooms, different TVs, fucking shooting each other, yelling across the damn house. It was hilarious, and that was one of the best ideas ever. You know, because with the controller cord length for the Xbox and the LAN party thing, you're not sitting on your buddy's nutsack trying to fucking play a game. You
could do that if you wanted to, but you know that's a different fucking game. It's not fucking Halo. That's Rim Job.
Why are you cutting on your gaming system if you're playing something like that?
I don't know, because other people are around and you want to have an excuse to do that out in public. I don't know.
Memory cards.
Well, I was gonna. Speaking of memory card, we can just go right into this. What about the VMU on the where you could take your VMU out of your system, go to the arcades, put it into the arcade, download. I mean, that
was only in Japan for the Dreamcast. They didn't come here.
That's a damn shame.
I appreciate that idea, and to tell you the truth, that particular idea was taken and perfected by fucking Nintendo. Okay? But if it wasn't for the fact that VMUs ate up fucking batteries in less than 3.5 fucking hours, you know, I would appreciate that more. All right. I did like the fact that Sega went out of their way and they provided for players to have their own fucking play. And it was used when they were playing like NFL 2K and everything. You had your plays instead of having it up on screen. You had it in front of you. You could go ahead and you plays and shit like that. And that worked out well. There was other things like animations and other plays that you could use for like Virtua Tennis and Soul Calibur and things like that. But like I said, the only drawback to the VMUs is that if you actually use them for gaming purposes where they weren't attached to a fucking console, it went through batteries like fucking candy.
Well, what was wrong with Sega and things that had to be powered on batteries?
Almost all of their fucking consoles, like the Sega Saturn, the Sega Dreamcast has one also. These fucking things.
Yeah,
these motherfuckers right there. All right.
No, I'm talking about batteries, period, because remember the Game Gear and the Nomad.
That was our previous video. That was
we're on positive.
I know, but I just
one thing about the Dreamcast that you can think too is that I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Dreamcast was the first system that you can go online with.
Console.
That's what I'm saying.
The Sega Saturn could do it too.
No, Saturn.
The Super Nintendo could do it.
They could go online, Super Nintendo?
The Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis had access to the X-Play.
Yes, they
which
did.
allowed you online multiplayer. Now, if you're actually going online and web browsing and stuff like that, then you had the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
Sega Saturn.
Yep. That was the first one to do that. And it incorporated it with games like Sega Rally Online, Virtual On Online, and I think they did Virtual Fighter 2 online also. Okay, which I wouldn't have suggested. I played a few Virtual On online matches back in the day, and yeah, it has fucking issues. But as far as it goes, you know, look, here's the thing. We talk a lot of shit about Microsoft, and I think it's very deservedly so. But when it comes to online gaming in the industry, they are the motherfuckers who perfected it. Okay, the reason being is that when they set up Xbox Live, they took the responsibility of actually setting up an infrastructure of online. These are how the things are going to fit together, because up until that point, a lot of the first-party publishers went ahead and left it up to individual developers. All right, if you're going to put it online, you figure it out. Right. Microsoft went out of their way and said, if you're going to put it online, guess what? You're going to make it work to our shit. This is how it fucking works. Plug and play, bitches. Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead and fit it up to this.
And you need to pay this yearly fee, or monthly fee, wherever.
You know, the funny thing about that is that, okay, obvious fucking cash grab, but generally speaking, it was $50 for a fucking year, and majority of the internet service providers out there, especially if they're broadband, they were charging that much every fucking month.
Depending on your speed, yes.
Yeah.
You see, that's like PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now is like $20 a month. Even though it has a great substantial library, still $20 a month. That's like double Netflix, or double Hulu. That's like Netflix and Hulu combined.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying that it's a good idea, but I'm just throwing that out there.
No, here's the thing. It's a great fucking idea. And if you're somebody who sits there and does if you're used to the GameFly thing and you're used to going ahead and doing the GameFly thing where you reserve fucking games to come to your house 6 months before and then you fucking power through it in a weekend, that's fine. But if you're a working adult with actual fucking responsibilities.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out that way.
No.
The majority of the time. Okay? Which is the whole reason why, as much as I like the option to have that service, I've never had a GameFly account.
No, neither have I.
Yeah.
Speaking of great ideas, fuck. I gave it shit when it was about to come out. I gave it shit when it came out. I gave it shit when it was out for a long time. But the DS, the fucking DS, man, I gave that a lot of shit. I did. But I
don't blame you, because it looked like a chick's fucking makeup compact when it first came out.
It did. And
Let's be fucking honest.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this? Until I played the games on it. And then that was it. I was like, oh, so that's what, oh, holy shit. You can't go wrong with Nintendo titles on it.
That's Nintendo titles.
Well, yeah, but still. And, okay, yeah, PSP, it could have been better, but it could have been a lot worse. Then there are certain games that hit these consoles. Like I said, Nintendo and their first party, that no one can touch that as far as first party. But then you have certain games that came out for certain you know, at certain times or for certain systems. Okay, like Halo for the Xbox or Portal. You have GoldenEye for the 64. Games that leave marks at a certain time.
Yep.
Okay, let's look at the jumps, like for certain sequels. Street Fighter to Street Fighter 2 was a big fucking leap. Virtual Fighter 1 to 2 was a big fucking leap. You rarely see that.
Yep.
You know, you rarely see like, damn, this went to this.
How about are we just defining this as video games and stuff, or we could expand out?
Branch out.
I got some things like Pokemon card trading game.
It's still in the industry, so that counts. So
and then Magic the Gathering. I mean, come on, man! You got millions of people playing these games.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And
the silly thing about it is that they're going to sit there. They're going to charge consumers, you know, anywhere from $3 to $20 for a fucking expansion pack that costs them like 10 cents to fucking manufacture.
Yep.
Pure fucking genius.
And especially like games like Magic the Gathering, where a set comes out every 3 months, and people eat it up.
Yep.
One thing that I have to give props to, the Lego series, Lego games.
I see. I love that. I own every Lego game there.
The Lego. Wait. I'm waiting for Nintendo to get in on that. I'm waiting for Nintendo titles to be Lego. What if that happens?
Well, that's a big if. All right. That's something that Nintendo, whether or not Nintendo is willing to go ahead and relinquish that.
I don't know. I think that's closer than you think, Reverend, simply because of the success of Pokemon Go. This is the first time, like you said, since the CDI, where Nintendo actually allowed a third-party company to
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If they branch out to something, because it would only be on Nintendo consoles. Let's think about this. If you have a Lego Mario Kart, I mean, you shoot motherfuckers and Legos blow up, or that will. Wait a minute. I'm telling you, that
Lego Zelda.
Oh,
well, the thing about that is that Lego, their big thing as far as that goes is being able to cover multiple genres and multiple platforms. Now, whether or not Nintendo will jump on that is something is yet to be seen. Unfortunately, we haven't seen actual physical toys that reflect that, so the chances of that are kind of small. But
the 8-bit things are kind of.
No, and the thing is that it would work. I understand it would definitely work. But one thing that we haven't touched on, and it's really kind of obvious, but you know, as far as ingenious things go, Rock Band, Guitar Hero,
absolutely.
Oh my fucking god! For a good 5 fucking years.
Yep.
You know, the musical add-on peripherals, people were playing with plastic fucking instruments at their house. Not just at their house, but you know how they have karaoke bars and they have karaoke night? They had fucking Guitar Hero and Rock Band night at fucking clubs and fucking bars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
absolutely genius.
I mean,
here's another one. DDR. I don't like Dance Dance Revolution, but you still got to give it its props. I mean, it got
give it a props. Yeah, yes, it was aerobics, but I still give it props. I mean, come on, you witnessed me playing DDR. You witnessed me playing Keyboard Mania. Not as much, but you witnessed me playing Beat Mania.
Yep.
You know, just as a male, when arcades still exist and you saw that there was an attractive female or a pair of attractive females playing DDR, you couldn't help but stop and watch.
Especially if they knew what they were doing.
No, they didn't have to know what they were doing. They just had to be up there jumping around.
Well, that depends on the female at this point.
True. But I did preface it with an attractive female or attractive
Well, okay.
all right. Because otherwise, a lot of people weren't. But our whole focus on this particular video is that we spent the last video tearing publishers and developers apart for
dumb shit.
Really, yeah, really.
That's not sugarcoat.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
bullshit.
And not just stupid shit, but this is bullshit that they sold to us at full fucking price. Okay.
Hell yeah, man.
And with this particular video, we just spent the last 35 minutes or so telling folks, hey, these are things that we think were just fucking ingenious. All right. Granted, yeah, we looked at things from all the way back in 1980 all the way up until now, and if you give anybody 30 years of time, they're probably bound to do something right. But that doesn't mean you don't sit there and not recognize it. That's pretty much what we did with this particular video. All right. Was there anything else that anybody wanted to go ahead and throw out and mention at this point in time?
We didn't mention the light gun.
The light gun.
I mean, we completely. Come on, man. We all three of us. We sat there and shot ducks.
I have one. The pause button.
Oh no! No! That. Oh God!
Not the pause button. What about the menu button?
No, the pause button is probably one of the greatest fucking innovations ever.
That's what I mean.
In a fucking video game.
That's what I mean. The pause button and save functions whenever they had them.
Look,
pause button was one that.
Well, look, going out of your way to sit there and answer your mom screaming at you to go ahead and fucking take the trash out or clean your fucking room.
Oh, yeah.
To go ahead and take a piss or itch your fucking nose or sneeze.
The piss, going to the bathroom was the worst. All of that. Or even, I'm thirsty.
Some of those games you leave on all night.
That's because what I mean with the pause button. I've done it.
Yep.
I think it would have took me longer to beat Ghosts and Goblins if I didn't do it that way. When the first time I beat Ghosts and Goblins.
What? I mean, not really a pause button, but at least in Zelda you can go into your map or your inventory to kind of pause the game.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
It's still a pause. That's still a pause.
It's still a menu screen that still gives you a break.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about this. The first Mortal Kombat game for the Super Nintendo and Genesis didn't have pause button while you fought.
Yep. Well, what about the save? Being able to save your game. I mean, Zelda was the first one that were able to do that.
When games got longer and longer, when the games got longer and longer and quests got longer and longer, save function passwords. No, password keys were garbage because passwords would be so fucking long and sevens will be confused with other or ones and L's will be confusing or zeros and O's. Hated that shit. If the password were simple, fine. But save function was better than passwords.
Definitely better.
What about shit like the Game Genie and the fucking Game Shark or whatever? For motherfuckers that just couldn't beat games and had to cheat in order to fucking get it done.
I don't know if that was actually an innovation that I think was positive. Okay.
No, I have to agree with Reverend on that.
I mean,
I agree.
It's great that it's there, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, a lot of the cheat codes and other things that are actually in there in game are actually there as what developers call developer keys, which help them to go ahead and test certain things. All right, and they just happen to leave it in the fucking game. You know?
I got one for you. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What about guidebooks?
Certain games you absolutely fucking needed them.
And I'm talking about like fighting game. I mean, hey, guidebooks. That was a good idea, man. Like, hey, here you go.
Well, when they stopped putting a lot of information in instructions.
Yep.
And when they stopped actually giving instructions in games, Now you need a guidebook in order to fucking get certain games to actually know what shit is or actually know what the fuck you're doing.
You know what's funny about guidebooks is that I've got a huge library of games. Okay, well, no, excuse me. I've got a sizable library of games. Okay, it's not very huge in comparison to other libraries I've seen online, but I can count that if there's a game that I have, if there's a guidebook for it, that I'll probably have a hold of it. Even if I've never needed it for the actual fucking game. The thing about guidebooks, the great thing about it is that, you know, and maybe if you grew up with one of these, you don't understand the allure of it, but having that available when you're actually playing is fucking great. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And it sure as hell beats the alternative, which was 90 cents per minute on this 1-900 number printed on the back of the fucking instruction booklet.
Hey, look, even though I'm going to get some slack about this, but that was a pure genius idea from Nintendo as well. Put a 1-900 number on the bottom of the fucking video game system for the kids to call for help. Genius.
I answered that for Ocarina of Time, and I tell you what, it wasn't just kids who were fucking calling that number.
I'm just saying, that's just pure genius. That's a good way to get some more money.
I mean, I can go on about answering the 900 number or even call center work in general for a fucking video game for a long, long time. And I know you guys have heard some of the stories, but we're running out of time on this particular video.
Right.
So what I gotta say is that, you know, like I said, we are not just negative Nancy's, and we're not just going to sit there and beat the shit out of video game companies just because we're jaded motherfuckers. Okay, yeah, we're middle-aged, but we can recognize the good with the bad, and that's what this video is for. With that, we're going to cut our bullshit short on here. Like I say in every video, if you're so kind, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment below. If you think there's anything we missed or anything we covered in another video, make sure to mention it. Okay, with that, I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
And Gray Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense logic in gaming. Some good shit this time as far as gaming. Credits.
The next video is going to charge you 95 cents for every minute that you watch it. Just go ahead and forward your PayPal account to the 3middleagedguys@gmail.com.